So before I go over my thoughts on this first episode, I didn't realise before now that this is technically the 40th anniversary of this franchise. So, yeah, happy anniversary, Ross. Um, yeah. So, something I should probably note about this first episode, or rather, the version that I'm watching. I'm watching the 2006 dub, which is fairly competent. Well put together, pretty amazing, honestly. The problem I have with it is what I'm about to tell you. One of the main characters, in fact, the main character, the hotshot pilot in this episode, is voiced by Vic Mignola. I'm bad with names. And one of the um, female staff members on the ship is voiced by Monica Rial. I'm not getting into that lawsuit. I'm not getting into that whole deal. I'm just gonna say that I both sides had a point, and we should all move on and try not to think about it too much while watching anime, especially anime from this era. So, with that out of the way, episode 1 begins with an immediate seizure. Kind of forgot that that was a thing back in the day. Now, even though this was the 2006 dub, these are 1982 visuals, but they didn't have the Pokemon situation happen just yet. Not for another 16 years or something? 14 years, something like that? Jesus. Um, so yeah, just something to bear in mind if you do go back and watch it. Oh, and I should also point out, I'm not saying where I got that from. I'm not linking in the description because, let's face it, if I did, it would be scummy of me. And also, there's this whole thing of them releasing the DVD. No, sorry, the Blu-ray of the series from Macross, the franchise, in their original form with the dub this year. Something I found out yesterday while I was preparing all my stuff for this. Kind of regret this now. Could have waited until next year. Ah, fuck it. Too late now. So the whole series starts off in the year 1999 when a ship crashes onto a planet, presumably killing thousands, million people. Three very tall structures crash down in the opening. So, yeah, some people definitely died there. Thank goodness they didn't say 2001. Because if they said 2001, then. Oh fuck. Three buildings crashing down in 2001 with a giant flying craft crashing through them. Yikes. But anyway, it takes the humans of this version of Earth 10 years to rebuild the ship that crashes, to understand it, to stop fighting with each other. What the fuck? And the Macross gets ready to take off in the year 2009. The far off future of 2009. What a shitty year that was. Actually, no, that's a lie. That was a good year. Considering all the shit that we've had since, that was a good year. Then the introduction credits sequence happens. I'm not going to go over them every time because they're probably not going to change. I am going to note them here because some of the visuals are actually from the episodes. And I'm not sure if that's just how the anime is or if that's from the dub. But considering how the dub had the original credit songs opening and ending, yeah, yeah, I had the original Japanese songs undubbed, but with subtitles, but no translations. That means that it's all right. It could be better. It could be worse. I don't know. It did seem like out of context spoilers, to be honest. Anyway, the episode officially kicks off, finally, with the launch party. The launch party for the Macross. And immediately a mayor is just standing around in the streets. Not even by the ship, just like. At least I think that was the mayor. The man who that guy was talking to said mayor, so I'm gonna say that he's the mayor. But he was like in the middle of nowhere, just out on the streets, not like next to the ship, preparing for a speech, which the mayor has to do later. So it's all important why I'm bringing this up. Trust me, it's a long thing. Um, and a car goes by, with the captain of the Macross. Called Captain Global. Not a real name, I'm pretty sure, but I think it gets the point across. I guess. The captain looks completely done with all the shit already, just wants to get going. Or maybe go smoke some weed. Maybe that comes up later as well. Um, and then we cut to the interior of the ship on the bridge, where most of the crew are female. A far cry from the old days of Star Trek, where it was one female who happened to be black, surrounded by men of various persuasion. No, that's not the word I'm thinking of. Men of various um I don't want to just say colours, that would be awkward. Even though it would be true because of the Star Trek colour t-shirts designations. Um Men of different races. That's the best I can come up with. Um yeah, in case it's your first video with me, hi. Physically disabled. Sometimes words come out weird. Deal with it. Um so yeah, half the crew are already on board. And the token black woman of the ridge, who is one of the lieutenants, by the way, so she has power. This is post segregation in the West, so fair enough. You go, woman. I'm not sure if her voice actress was black, but even if it was, hey, at least it's actually a woman doing it. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with men doing. Not that there's anything wrong with men doing women's voices. Says me. Anyway, um, God, I realise how insane I sound. Point is, her look isn't as bad as Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z, but or Jinx Pokemon back in the day, but it's still a bit on the edge of potentially. I could. I'm just saying that I could see if there ended up being any controversy from the re-release. I could see where they would be with the looks department for this one character. I would like to point out that the captain of the ship is also of a darker complexion, so and he doesn't look half as bad, so maybe it's just again because this is a global global Captain Global. Because this is a worldwide operation to garf the Macross. I could see them having various different complexions on board, like almost vampire-like albino people, all next to sun-kissed women, next to gym bros, super tanned gym bros, next to nerdy, never go outside types like me. Um, you know, I can see that being a thing in the verse. Anyway, back to the episode. This black lieutenant apparently likes one of the crew members because he spent the previous night drinking. I think they made a joke about the captain being involved, or at least the captain was also notorious for drinking the night before a massive battle. So that's a thing. Um, and she actually mentions he'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen to the captain on board this ship that we've not tested before. If you can't sense the foreshadowing, and I do not, I wish I was you because that's some heavy stuff coming up. Anyway, I already have a waifu in this show. There's a timid girl who deals with a lot of screens, I guess, with different readouts from the ship itself and some of the writers and the communications. I'm guessing it's communications, I'm not really sure. But she's timid and she is already best girl for me. Instant. I can tell best girl immediately. Also, as we find out, the two gossiping women, black woman I've already mentioned, is a lieutenant. But so's the woman that she's talking to, so there's two lieutenants on board at the same time on the same shift. I guess that makes sense, but I don't know. Maybe they should only have one or the other on hand at any one time. I don't know. I'm not in a massive spacefaring organisation. I wouldn't know. Oh wait, yeah. Technically, I'm part of ARCs. Fuck. Got drafted last year. Anyway, um, enough about me. While all of this is going on in the bridge, there's a hotshot pilot flying about. A hotshot pilot voiced by Vic. Mm. Anyway, the pilot communicates with the bridge, identifies himself, and then flies into the path of a group of fighters that are showing off for the crowd who are there for the launch party. The captain of this group, I guess captain. Oh, he just says name. It doesn't give rank. Um, I guess the, the the leader of this group of Valkyries, they're called. Actually, the hotshot pilot senpai, and they actually say senpai in the dub. Really weird to hear that coming out of an 80s anime. Wouldn't have that happen nowadays with all the transliteration stuff not happening anymore. Thanks, translators, for that shit. But yeah, the hotshot pilot talks with the group leader on the ground through a megaphone, I guess. It's just a megaphone war. Kind of hilarious, but also dangerous at the same time because, you know, they're trying to do a show here. They're trying to do a flight show, and this rookie pilot is just strolling into the middle of it all. But it turns out the hotshot pilot, um, can outspeed the these space ready fighter jets. Like what? How? Oh, whatever. We're not even halfway through the episode yet, by the way. Um, the senpai gets angry at his hotshot pilot friend and has a very sneaky censored motherfucker in the in the dub, which is again not something I was expected from this anime from the 80s, but I mean it's Japan. They probably said motherfucker a lot in the native version. Once they meet up on the ground, the senpai tries to downplay the uh downplay the achievements of the hotshot pilot who won 7 flights flight competitions, not the 3 that senpai wanted to mention and remember because he's a dick. Of course, the hotshot pilot, being hotshot, has a mouth on him too and calls the older friend a murderer. Very casually. Just says something like, oh yeah, whatever you say, murderer. Like, dude, this guy's a war hero. And you're just casually calling him a murderer. Bruh. What the fuck? So they go get a drink together at a robot vending machine? Like, there's gonna be a lot of robots in this, isn't there? This is space. Everything. But yeah, while they're getting a drink, a mother, I guess? A cute woman who's looking after a child that's having a tantrum catches the guy's eye and he pervs at her by nearly looking up her skirt. It's not played for laughs, it's just not that it's a joke, it's just happens. Now I'm feeling like this woman who only had one speaking line in this episode is going to be important in the entire franchise. Important enough to have a Japanese voice actress come over to the West for the dub. I don't get it. But you know what? A job's a job. Cut to space, where an alien war fleet approaches the Earth, looking for the ship that crashed 10 years ago. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen now. Captain gets the news that something's going wrong aboard the ship and leaves the press conference, or as I like to call them, communal circle jerk session. Someone's getting jerked off or jerked around. Yeah. Anyway, cut back to the bridge. The original weapons from the ship have been dormant for the last 10 years are starting to go online and are threatening to fire. And then there's a break. Part2. Captain immediately hits his head on the doorway. You'd think they would, you know, accommodate all the people. I know this is meant to be based off of Japan, but not the entire world is Japan sized. not in the watch department. I mean, what? I'm, I'm not horny. What? Well, as it turns out, the ship fires goes part of the city, goes part of the island they crashed on 10 years ago, has been rebuilt on. Takes out probably 2% of the ocean, and then just flies straight up into space and hits a couple of the ships in. Well, a couple of warships are heading towards the Earth. Essentially, firing the first shot in the war. Even though this war has apparently been going on for a while. Um, this was the Earth's first shot in the war. As we find out later, the captain had just been in a meeting that morning where, and I wish I was joking, he was literally told not to shoot first if an invasion came for this ship. That seems kind of a problem considering how the ship fired by itself. What the fuck? By the way, I apologise if the wasps buzzing is picking up on mic. There are two of them around me right now. I hate them. They won't leave me alone right now. Anyway, fleet of the fleet above the Earth gets hit by the weapon, by the main cannon firing. And now knows that the ship is on Earth. They didn't even know that was. They didn't even know for certain if it was still on Earth. And they also know that it is active, meaning that the ship has potential to be taken again or to be destroyed again as they originally intended. Meanwhile, all the captain can do is laugh. Because the way that he tells it, it was a booby trap that was similar to something that happened during World War II. So great, we now know that World War II happened in this world. What the fuck? Trapped one of the wasps in my coke can. I'll deal with that later. So yeah, Captain tells a story about World War II and the booby traps and bunkers getting taken over, being booby traps. I wasn't really paying that much attention. But then all of a sudden, he goes to take a puff of his pipe, it's about to light up. fucking blazing it on the bridge. And the waifu from earlier tells the captain off for smoking on the bridge. Like a good waifu. Bless. Anyway. It comes back to um the bad guys, the we still don't know the names of at this point. But we now know that the side of the original aliens who built the Macross, or what would become the Macross, is the Supervision Army. And while this is going on, the um the humans send up scout ships to see what the invasion is going to look like, but they immediately get taken out, like instantly. But oh, yeah, that's fun. And that's the wasp. Second wasp couch here. Nice. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, the bad guys have destroyed the scouts. Cut to Earth, where the fighters are starting to take to the airs because the main cannon fired without any warning. So yeah, battle stations. And then we find out what the guy's name is. The name of the senpai of the hotshot pilot. Bocker. It's written on the side of his fighter. Unfortunately, because of the low quality of my thing, of my copy of the anime, I thought it said fucker at first. So that's what I'm going to refer to him as. Pilot fucker. Just beautiful. So it seems like the um aliens that are invading are trying to well, they know they obviously know that the original ship fell on Earth, and they obviously know what the original ship was like. But at first, I didn't quite believe that the humans had managed to adapt the technology for themselves and add to it and make it not more powerful, but um more unpredictable. And I didn't think that humans could restore alien items and alien weapons. Trust me, from all the stuff I've seen over my thousands of years of being alive, humans do that a lot. Especially in anime and TV shows. Anyway, meanwhile, the hotshot who was sitting in the fighter that wasn't his and wasn't his senpai's had fallen asleep and was woken up by a direct line the bridge. And the bridge doesn't realise that he's not supposed to be in the fighter, so he gets drafted into the war by accident. I'm sure this is not going to be important at all to the entire franchise. Hotshot takes to the air. His senpai's already in flight. Um, there's a bit of dogfighting. Really good animations during these fights. Not the best because this is pre computers in anime, but yeah, it's getting there. Um, Fucker just straight up drops verbal shit in the middle of the dogfight because he thought that Hotshot was going to crash and die from the fight that was going on. And he very nearly does, but during it there's a mini flashback where the two guys are just flying in biplanes, which is, it just reminded me a bit of Sonic. Not sure why. Although one of the planes was blue. No, not blue, red. One of the planes was red and the other was yellow. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just rambling at this point. Anyway, the bridge realizes their mistake as Hotshot is going down straight towards the city, town, whatever. And so they go into, well, because the fighter is locked while it's in configuration A, they go with plan B. And suddenly he turns into a Gundam. That's the best way I can put it. It's the cockpit is a head, it's got arms, it's got legs, it's got shoes, it's a fucking Gundam. Without being a Gundam. And even though he does transform, still crashes through a couple of buildings, so that's more people dead. And then we get the stinger for the next episode. Which features the MILF earlier. Or, the woman who totally isn't going to be relevant for the rest of the franchise. Oh god, help me. And then let's talk about these end credits. It's a real hand flipping over a photo album with the script, with the credits scrolling and a Japanese man singing. But the photos on the album are of the MILF. The anime MILF. So my only guess is that this hand is that of a weeb. Anyway, that was episode 1. Holy shit, that was a long one. Hopefully episode 2 will not be that long. Me recording. Holy shit, that was 45 minutes. Yeah, it was a good start to this series. I'm curious as to how this will go in this next part, which I'm going to start right now. Well, no, I'm actually going to have a lie down. But the next clip you'll see will be me after episode 2. Hopefully when I'm a bit more awake. So, yeah, see you then.